Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Snack Day. All right, my friends, this week we have been learning about harvest. Harvest means to pick or pull fruits and vegetables off of their vines and trees and plants. And so, what a great way to end our harvest of apples that we've learned about this week than to make carameled apples. All right, so there's different caramels out there that you can buy. This is a caramel dip that is already softened and ready for you just to dip your apple in it. Let's see if I could do this one-handed. And it's just ready to go. You can also do it using one of these that you have to melt down and then put the apples in yourself. So as you see, I have a pot of water here that it actually already boiled. You can see the steam. So go ahead, and if you're going to do it this way, you're going to boil the water. As you can see, it's boiling right now. And then you're going to actually turn off the flame. And then you're going to put a glass bowl on the top of it. Be very careful. This is for adults only, not the students. And then you are going to get your caramel bites. That's what I'm going to choose to use. And you're going to pour it inside of this bowl. And of course, I love carameled apples, so I'm going to go ahead and use all of the caramel bites to melt them all down. I have a whole bag of apples here. Let's get them all out. All right, once they're all poured in, you're actually going to put roughly 2 tablespoons of the hot water in it. I actually forgot to tell you to pull that out first. So put that in just so that it's melted on the top. And then you're going to continue to stir this until it melts. And then when it gets all nice and melty, you guys can dip your apples in and you will be able to make your carameled apples. I'm going to continue. I'll come back when this is all nice and melted. Okay, as you can see, it's just going to continue to melt down. Melt and melt. This takes a little bit of time to let it melt down in order to get it all nice and melted. If you took too long pouring the caramel in, go ahead and turn back on the flame to get it hot again. But this will melt down. And then we're ready to put the apples in it. All right, so at this point, I'm just smushing the caramel to help it melt. It is very hot. The glass bowl is very hot. Obviously, the pan is very hot. So just be careful with all of this. It's almost melted on down. I'm so excited. Once you have it melted down, we're going to go ahead and put the apples in. We'll dip them in, and then you need wax paper to place them on to let them dry just a tad bit. And then, bon appetit, you can enjoy them. So I forgot to mention on the back of these caramel bites, it does say to cook this in the pan itself. But the reason why I choose a glass bowl, and I do this every year with the glass bowl, is because I like my kids to be able to dip in, and the pan makes it super hot. But as you can see, I now can touch the glass. It's not as hot, which when my kids dip in carefully, we talk about being safe and hotness and everything, and there's no fire underneath, then they're able to dip in. So you can follow the instructions on the back of the caramel melt, or you can do it this way. I prefer this way because I like hands-on for my kids, and of course I would like it hands-on for my students. So as you can see, I'm just continuously mixing this around so that it melts. It's a lot easier having someone else record for me, so I actually could do this rather than pausing and starting again. So we're almost there. I'm super excited. Look at how delicious this looks. All right, I'm going to get the apples and we're going to be able to do some dipping. All right, so now I have my apples. My favorite apples are actually Gala apples, so I went ahead and bought a bag of those, and I have sliced them up. You can put them in chunks, you can put them in circles. If you use a melon scooper for little melons, that's really cute to be able to do like tiny carameled apples. That's what it looks like. We like slices because we just dip it in real easy. I don't use sticks because we're just going to throw it away afterwards. But you can go ahead and buy the wooden sticks if you would like to. Just remember that the apples will turn brown, as you can see, because of the air. So before recording and before starting to melt my caramel, I cut the apples, and in about roughly 5 minutes, that's how far we are into this video, the apples are already turning brown, but it's only because of the air that is around them. They are perfectly fine. All right, so now I'm going to get my daughter involved in this. As you can see, the caramel is all melted. It's all nice and bubbly and yum, yum, yum. So what you're going to do carefully, of course, there's no fire on. We're teaching the kids, do not touch the pot because the pot has hot water in it and it's still hot. We're just going to carefully pick up an apple, and we're going to tell the kids to hold it on the very end of the apple, and then we're going to dip in from here almost down to their fingers and then place it onto wax paper. When you do the caramel, when you pull it up, if it's a little bit stringy, you're just going to kind of swirl it around before you put it on the caramel apple. Before you put it on the wax, just like she did. Look at how yummy it is. So go ahead and do as many as you want. And then in the next segment of this video, I'll show you how it looks with the pre-made dip. Yum, 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 my fave. Delicious. Okay, so we went ahead and did the caramel that we melted, and now we're just going to do the simple one where the caramel dip is already done for us, and this is a very delicious brand. So again, I took my apples, I cut them up. Remember, if the air touches them, they start making them turn brown. That's a good thing to explain to kids because a lot of kids will not eat it if it's starting to turn brown. They say it's yucky, and it actually is not. It's just that the air touched them, and that's a good science to watch. To, cut your apples and have them watch as they sit out in the air, not for very long, they start to turn brown. It's just the air that does it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take the lid off of our caramel. And this one is super simple, no cooking or anything. All you have to do is take the apple by its end. Kids can definitely do this all by themselves. Dip it in as far as you would like. You're going to spin it around. And then make sure nothing is dripping. And then you're going to put it on the wax paper. And of course, you could just put it straight to your mouth if you're like me and you really, really, really like carameled apples. So I should mention that with the carameled apple dip, that because it's not hot melted, it doesn't technically stick to the apples. That's why it's a dip, more like a chip in a dip. You dip it in and then you get a chunk off and you eat it like that. So that's why I showed you the two different ways. My favorite is actually the melted caramel on the apples, but when I'm trying to do a quick treat or whatever, this is what I use. And of course you get a little more onto your apple because you got to take a little more to get it to stick on. As you can see, my daughter is doing. Look at how delicious it looks. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy. I have had a wonderful week with you guys learning about the harvest of apples, and I will see you guys later. Bye.